Hi there, I'm Mayor Rusty Bailey with a fascinating look at how a group of Riversiders are participating in a transatlantic effort to commemorate the 75th anniversary of D-Day. Join me as I talk with the Inland Empire Wing of the Commemorative Air Force, which is taking Riverside pride all over the country and around the world.
Hi, welcome to Riverside Monthly with Mayor Bailey. I'm Steve Brazel, joined by Mayor Rusty Bailey. Good morning, sir.
I am so excited to be here
sir.
today, afternoon, whatever it is. I'm
Yeah.
excited to be here. We've got an incredible story to tell, a once-in-a-lifetime story.
And this is an interesting one. I've been looking forward to this conversation because I happen to know a photographer, a well-known Nikon ambassador that is photographing the restoration of a classic airplane to fly to Europe for the recreation of D-Day. So little did I know, we have a group of local pilots that are flying historic aircraft to Europe to mark the 75th anniversary of D-Day and the 70th anniversary of the Berlin airlift. So I want to welcome from the Inland Empire Wing of the Commemorative Air Force, Executive Officer and Lead Pilot Steve Rose. Thanks so much for joining us. And also the Operations Officer, Andy Conley. Thank you as well, sir.
Absolutely.
And I love what you guys are doing with this.
And they're representing Riverside.
And they're representing.
Yeah, they're representing. Tell us about the Commemorative Air Force. First of all, let's step back, and because the Commemorative Air Force has been going on for quite a while, almost ever since World War II, and the Inland Empire Wing, and of course we talked about them flying, or you all flying the D-Day Doll at Normandy for the 75th anniversary of the invasion. But tell us about the Commemorative Air Force.
CF, I think the first plane came around in about 1957. Some crop dusters in Texas bought the plane down to Lark, thought it'd be fun to fly. Got serious in 1962, chartered the Commemorative Air Force. It was born. Wound up after a few different places in Harlingen. That was where the first museum was located. From there went to Midland, Texas. Now they're in Dallas. Probably close to 10,000 members.
Wow.
About 150 World War II aircraft that we fly and maintain. About the 7th or 8th largest air force in the world.
And how many do we have in Riverside?
We have four based here. Mm-hmm. We fly and maintain them. It's
Including
a flying
the
museum.
D-Day doll.
Yes.
And you're the one flying it, right?
Yes. Well, one of the guys fly.
Yeah, we need to talk about that because I'm dying to know what that's
and crew
like.
rest. You got to have some crew rest.
This reenactment, it's fascinating to me on many levels, but one of them is the amount of time, right? This is a 7-week event reenacting the invasions of Omaha Beach and the crossing of the Rhine. 7 weeks. How do you coordinate all of these reenactments that are happening?
Well, there's an organization in Connecticut they've been there before on the 70th anniversary and stuff. So the American contingent, if you want to call it that, they call it the D-Day Squadron. They kind of know what to do once we're over there and stuff. And then there's another organization once we get to England. So we're kind of like the worker bees. We're just going to do what they tell us. But there's a schedule been set up ahead of time. So we know where we're going to be, roughly we're going to be, weather dependent and all that stuff, because they are 75-year-old airplanes. And
you may be worker bees, but your job as a worker bee is like one of the coolest things on earth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's just.
I want to retire and go with them. That's what I
I'm going to stow away.
These are the planes that dropped paratroopers, flew supplies, evacuated the wounded. How important was being a part of this for you? I mean, what does it mean to you?
Well, when it first was broached to us is like almost 3 years ago from the CAF headquarters in Dallas said, hey, your airplane was in Normandy. How would you like to, bring it back? And our first thought was like, well, how would we get it there? Take the wings off and ship it over there.
Right.
But as it developed, it's like, the plane was built in Santa Monica, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Plane's built in Santa Monica, and it made it all the way over there.
Yeah, it could do it again.
Of course, it was brand new at the time, not 75 years old. But it just got building in this thing, and then we met people who actually touched the airplane or parachuted out of it, and maybe not our airplane, but other airplanes. And gosh, it just, these kids are 17, 18, 19 years old.
Right.
If they're 20 or 21, they were probably the old guys, and they're
I love that story of a Pathfinder that jumped out. These are the first in to go and set up basically the path for those that were going to be landing on the beachhead. And he jumped out of the D-Day Doll, and he's going to be going back and jumping out of it again at the age of 92 or 93. Did I hear that story right?
Well, I don't think he jumped out of our airplane in particular,
was in
but
the-
still, we're hosting him. Jim
Right,
Rice
right,
is his
okay.
name, and he's a,
So
nice old gentleman.
What a story.
This,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is such a big project. As I mentioned, it's 7 weeks long, the entire event, right? You leave May 8th. You're going to take this 70-year-old plane, and you're going to fly it 12,000 miles across the U.S., many, many countries, across the Atlantic, to do this reenactment. What I mentioned earlier, the photographer that I know, Moose Peterson, is involved in documenting some of the classic aircraft. What other groups are involved with this?
Well, there's a contingent in Europe that'll be meeting up with us and stuff, and then the CAF is just one part of it. But a lot of these airplanes are either privately owned or owned by foundations, and they're all joining into the group and stuff. So I think it's called the Tunison. Was it corporation or Tunison Foundation are the guys in Connecticut, kind of putting this all together. Orchestrating the poopy suits, or the exposure suits and the life rafts and all the emergency stuff that you need to have to get over
I never
there.
thought I'd hear
All
the
the
phrase
details,
poopy
yeah.
suits
Yeah,
on the
well,
show. I'm
that's a
just
Navy.
saying.
That's a Navy term. Sorry.
But 12,000 miles. Tell us about the tour, the stops. To get there. That's fascinating in and of itself.
Well, our stop, we're trying to, show support for the supporters who, believed in us right from the start. So we're going to Tucson, Arizona, because there's a great lady down there, gave us quite a bit of money, and
Gotta take her for a ride.
Well, we're going to just basically go, hey, here's what you've done for us.
Right.
This is the final product. Look at how beautiful it looks, and we're on our way.
Right.
And then we're going to go to Kansas City, where the American Legion, if I remember
Yes.
correctly, they're going to show us a good time or whatever.
Yeah,
And
feed
show.
you, get you ready.
And in Louisville, there's some individuals have given us money, but that's where we kind of turned it into we're bringing people on board and flying around, just
Right,
showing,
right,
flying in a historic airplane on its way to D-Day.
Yeah.
And then we go to Dayton, Ohio, for the Air Force Museum. We're going to actually do a parachute
National Air
drop there,
Force Museum. Oh, man.
part of their D-Day celebration. So we're actually going to drop paratroopers there, which is going to be great
Or
fun.
kick them out of there.
Yeah, well.
One of the two.
That's part of the other contingent is the whole jump team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
That's
jump
a
team.
separate group that supports the reenactment and what happened in Europe.
Right.
So that's a professional group of jumpers that we've used before at air shows and events. So they're going to be making their way there ahead of us for this.
Yeah, because so we work with the Airborne World War II demonstration team, the Liberty Jump team, and then round shoot, and then I can never remember what the rest of their initials
Yeah,
stand for.
right.
But anyway, the three different groups of guys, and they're all really good professionals. And
But you're flying over Nova Scotia, Greenland, Iceland, Scotland.
Yeah.
You're going over the hard way.
Yes. Well,
This is going to be such an
Over
awesome,
land, at least.
awesome trip. Andy, I'm curious about the CAF in general. I understand it was founded in the 50s.
57, the first plane was acquired. The group was chartered in 1961.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about CAF in general.
The Commemorative Air Force is a museum. It's a flying museum. So there's many, many great museums out there that acquire and display the aircraft. We take the aircraft to the people. So whether it's at air show at a military base or a local airport like Riverside, even Corona Airport, we've done shows there. But you name the place, there's probably been an air show there. And most people wonder how we got the plane there. That's probably one of the biggest questions.
And
How did you get the plane here?
yeah,
It's like,
You're
well,
involved with the restoration of them as well?
we maintain them, we restore them, and we fly them. We train crews to fly them and maintain. Yeah, the maintainers, we hire people that are professional at that. That's important. We don't skimp on any of that
I
stuff.
so appreciate what you guys are doing to keep history alive.
Amen.
yeah, thank
So
you. We
thank you
appreciate it.
very, very much.
Living history.
Living
Yeah.
history,
Yeah.
flying museum. This is just like the coolest thing on earth. Mr. Mayor, thanks as always for joining us
This
for
is a
Riverside
blessing for
Monthly.
me to be a part
Really
of this
appreciate it.
conversation. Yeah.
As well, our two guests from the Inland Empire Wing of the Commemorative Air Force. We've got the Executive Officer and Lead Pilot Steve Rose, and also the Operations Officer Andy Conley.
Is there a
Thank you.
website that you can send people to for more information about this event or otherwise?
Commemorative Air Force, Inland Empire Wing.
All right.
Yep, we're easy to find.
Yeah, if you
Google
Google
it.
that,
Yep.
Commemorative Air Force, Inland Empire Wing, you'll find them. And seriously, go check this out.
There's a
It's
send-off May 7th, I believe, at the municipal
Yes.
airport.
May
Yes.
7th, Riverside Municipal Airport. Go check it out. Again,
Okay.
this is Riverside Monthly with Mayor Bailey. I'm Steve Brazel. Thank you to the guests. Thank you to you, Mr. Mayor, as always, for joining us.
Got it.
We'll see you on the next show.